When I tell people I'm writing an autobiography, they usually react with an excited, "Oh!" When I tell them what it's about, it becomes an, "Oh." And I don't blame them. It sucks to talk about sexualized violence. It makes us feel uneasy and helpless, and we don't know what to say. After the first moment of discomfort has passed, people usually congratulate me on my courage and my strength. It must be an empowering experience, right? Writing about it surely helps you overcome some of your trauma. It must be freeing to tell your story. Well, honestly, not really. Digging through my diaries and reading about the countless times a man has crossed my boundaries, taken advantage of me being drunk, ignored my nose, or pressured me into saying yes. Reading these stories repeat themselves up until today has mostly made me one thing: angry. And consciously confronting myself with all the violence I have survived and am still surviving is not an empowering or freeing experience, at least not for me. It gives me even more nightmares. It makes my palms sweaty and my stomach turn. It makes my chest feel tight and my head hurt. It makes me so angry I want to set the world on fire. Yet I feel this deep societal expectation to frame my life into a story of resilience and healing. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger, right? But why do we expect survivors of sexualized violence to be inspiring? Why do we celebrate resilience more than anger? And why do we feel more comfortable with the abstract idea of healing than with actually challenging the systems that cause harm? We love stories of transforming pain into strength and growth because they're easily consumable. They come with a happy end and leave us with the impression that things are not that bad after all. Stories of anger and rage, on the other hand, are irritating, demanding, and sometimes irrational. They come with more questions and less answers. And that's okay. Because when we expect survivors of sexualized violence to always be calm and consistent, who do we actually protect? This idea of coming out stronger on the other side mainly serves a society that doesn't want to or is unable to confront its very own daily horrors. Healing becomes an individual challenge, an individual responsibility even. And when you don't heal fast enough, or not at all, you simply weren't strong enough. I started questioning this narrative when I saw Carolina Bianchi's play The Brotherhood last summer. In this 3-hour-long piece, Bianchi restaged her experience of being drugged and raped by a group of actor colleagues. Bianchi didn't get over it, and she didn't keep quiet. She shoved the horrors of her experience right back into the audience's faces. In her closing speech, she said, "Nothing can extinguish my anger, and nothing can restore my faith." Expressing anger without being pathologized has historically been reserved to white cis men. This has been shown in many studies, one of them being the book Wut und Böse from 2021. Kids who are raised and read as girls are taught to suppress their anger and be polite, be nice, while angry and even aggressive acts from kids who are raised and read as boys are normalized and excused. Also in work contexts, women or people read as female who question or criticize outdated structures risk being labeled as bossy or demanding, while men or people read as male with similar behaviors are simply perceived as proactive leaders. On top of this gendered perspective, factors like race, class, disability, and ethnicity play a huge role on whether expressions of anger are accepted and normalized, or if they're perceived as bitter, hysterical, or even dangerous. But anger is an emotion that often points towards structural injustice, and that's why it's so important to allow ourselves to feel it. That's why I want you, especially people who were socialized as female, to ask yourselves, when do you expect yourself to just get over it? When do you suppress your anger because you don't want to be inconvenient or because you're afraid of being judged? When do you just feel sad or numb? But when you look closer, you're actually boiling with rage. And when do you think, actually, I'm not angry enough? I want you to allow yourselves to name and feel these difficult feelings. I want you to scream them into the world instead of bottling them up and directing them towards yourselves. Because when you start sharing these feelings of anger, frustration, and rage with people who had similar experiences, you might not necessarily feel stronger, but you will feel less alone. Writing about my experiences of sexualized violence isn't healing me, and it doesn't have to. I don't owe healing to anyone in a society that keeps harming me. And you don't owe it to anyone either. So next time you feel that anger rising and you get the impulse to push it back down, let it rise instead. You're allowed to be angry, and you deserve to be heard. Thank you. Thank you.